Comparison is indeed the thief of all joy. That's a great saying by Theodore Roosevelt. I don't know what he was comparing it to, ironic, but I'm going to speak about it in the weight loss world and specifically the bariatric surgery world, because it genuinely makes no sense to compare your journey to others. And I'm not just saying that to make people feel better. I'm not just saying it because, you know, I just want people to kind of concentrate on their own journey. That is important. I'm saying it because weight is a metric of success that is going to vary so much for so many different reasons. Some in your control, which I'm going to touch on, but many out of your control. And that's the key reason not to compare, because it's really harsh to compare progress results on things that are out of your control. Let me explain. One of the main reasons, particularly in the first 12 months, why weight loss is going to vary from person to person is the start weight. Usually when people compare, they look at two things. They look at how long the person is post-op and how much weight they've lost. They have no consideration of what the start weight was. When you have a gastric sleeve, it's going to list it around 65% of excess weight, gastric bypass around 75% of excess weight. Notice it's going by percentages rather than total numbers, because the start weight matters. If you take two different people, if you take somebody who is 15 stone and they are looking to get to 10 stone, and you take someone who's 25 stone and they're the same height and they're also looking to get to 10 stone. Person B might lose 5 stone in the first 3 months. I'm not saying that's the right amount, just an example, which will put them at 20 stone. Person A might lose 3 stone, so less than person B, but they're only 2 stone away from their goal weight. So that person A has lost over 50% of their weight towards their target, whereas person B has lost 33%. So as a percentage, person A is quote unquote doing better, but person B might consider themselves doing better because they've lost more weight. There's variables to this stuff. It's important to go by percentages and averages rather than the absolute weight. I'm going to give you something that no one talks about, the liver reducing diet. People have varied amounts. Some people do 1 week, some people do 2 weeks, some people do 4 weeks. Now, everyone should always include the LRD because it is a variable based on how long you've done it for, and some people lose more on the LRD, some people lose less. But people don't usually talk about that. They talk about the start weight, this is how much weight I've lost, and this is the... But someone might have been doing it for a month longer, for all we know. Also, LRD-wise, this is something that happens quite a lot. A lot of people, when they book the surgery, they might have their surgery 3 months down the line. Some people, and I get it, I'm not saying you should do it, but people will go, okay, I've had my surgery in 3 months, I'm going to eat and enjoy and go on holidays and do everything I need to do because it's going to be so different after the operation. That's not the case, but a lot of people do think that way. And they can put on a significant amount of weight in that time frame. They might put on 5 to 10 kilograms in that time frame if they're really going to go for it. The other person might go, no, this is a new start. I've booked my surgery, I'm going to start now. They might lose 2 to 3 kg before the operation, before the LRD. So the first person who's put on a lot of weight, that tends to be a lot of water weight, and that will drop off quite quickly. So the person who made that decision to just do whatever they want has been more non-compliant than person B and lost more weight. So again, that is a variable that no one's ever going to talk about. But beyond that, beyond the sort of dynamics of in and around the LRD, beyond the fact of the start weight, gender, women tend to lose weight slower than men, and it's going to be a lot bumpier due to the menstrual cycle. Really not fair to compare to men. Age, younger people tend to lose weight quicker than older people. It's a metabolic thing. As we get older, our body tends to cling on to weight a bit more. So for example, I've quite literally had women compare themselves to younger men who are heavier in the first place and feel like they're not doing very well. We really want to look at a more direct individual journey, a picture of percentages and averages. If you're averaging over £2 a week in that first year, that means you're on course for potentially £100. Now, again, it depends on your start weight because it might not be £100 to lose, but anything in around £100 in a calendar year is monumental, extremely aggressive weight loss. And I hear too often, I've only lost 7 stone. I've only lost 80, 90, £100. And it's just so, 5 kilograms, a loss of 5 kilograms, as studies have shown, changes your life with health benefits incredibly when it comes to blood pressure, when it comes to your heart rate, even things like type 2 diabetes, massive medical difference at 5 kg. We're talking about people losing 30, 40, 50 kilograms and thinking they're not doing well. We've really got to move away from that. And I think I understand it. I'm not saying you're just going to watch this video and just go away and start implementing it. But I think hopefully from some of the things I'm talking about, you can understand how well you're doing and look to it. And that makes you more likely to be more compliant in the future. Because when people start to compare and they feel like they're not getting the results compared to somebody else, there can be quite common they stop doing the right things. And that's just going to make it feel even bumpier. And that brings me to my point about things that are in our control. Sometimes I speak to patients who have plateaued for a period of time and they're very honest and they'll say, look, I've just not been doing it because of different dynamics or distractions or life situations, or they just feel like they're comparing and not doing very well. And of course, that's going to make it even slower because we know there are certain things we want to do around our protein, around our meals, around keeping active, around bringing exercise in, around our fluids. These are things that we know we need to do to complement the procedure, to complement the tool. And if we're not doing that, it's going to make it slower. So in this video, these are things that are in your control, and there's things that are obviously out of your control. Back to in your control. It's really important that we explore new realms of exercise. People who take that initial weight loss from the liquid, puree and soft and go and exercise more by doing classes, by doing yoga, by going to the gym and doing things, are going to long-term get better results when it comes to their weight loss compared to those who don't. I don't see anybody comparing exercise routines when it comes to weight loss. It's really unfair for someone to go to the gym 3-4 times a week and someone not to do that and think that there's going to be a similar result. Because of course, there's a lot of work going on here that's not going on over here. I know it may sound harsh, and I know there are other reasons why people might not want to go to the gym, but home workouts exist. We need to find things that we're going to do going forwards. So there's all these comparison pieces, and it's something that can really disturb long-term weight loss and long-term success and probably long-term happiness as well. I don't want to go too deep in this video, but one of the best things to do to celebrate is non-scale victories, because non-scale victories are not comparable. How can you possibly compare somebody who's got in that dress that they haven't been into for 10 years compared to becoming a mother or a father for the first time? You know, these are very different, wonderful in very, very, very different ways. How can you compare somebody who maybe his mobility was very, very poor to somebody who got the confidence to go for that job promotion or whatever it may be? These are non-scale victories we hear over and over and over again. It lives through confidence. You can't measure confidence. It lives through the ability to do more. And this is something that is very specific and very unique to yourself. It's okay to go by the scales. It is a metric, but it is not the metrics. We should be looking at our inches, we should be looking at our clothes size, we should be looking at before and after photos, we should be looking at our non-scale victories, we should be looking back and going, wow, look at things that are possible now that weren't before. And when you do that, you can't compare that, because we all understand that we have very individual journeys, and that number, that weight metric, is okay to go by. I get it, it's called weight loss surgery, but we don't want to be defined by it. If anything, it should be this thing in the background. We're so busy creating new metrics elsewhere that this thing in the background's occurring, we don't compare it, we congratulate others for doing well, we do our own thing, and suddenly this becomes a very, very fulfilling journey as well. So please take that on track. If you see someone, you can get those feelings sometimes about, oh God, that person's doing really well, then maybe that's a cue for you to kind of go, okay, well, how do I develop this accordingly? And if you are doing everything you can do, that's all you can do. I hope you enjoyed that. My name's Harry Hedges, the Bariatric PT. Please hit below for the subscribe button, and I'll look forward to catching up with you all very, very soon. Bye-bye.